Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties. Get all these wonderful devices that make life so wonderful to connect and talk to each other. So for those of you, I see a lot of new faces here. For those of you who don't know me, I am Chuck Sierk. I am a real estate agent with eXp Realty. Our eXp Realty Lancaster branch office is located just on the other side of the wall. We're here at the Candy Factory in downtown Lancaster. So also my wife and I, we host a monthly business networking group. It's called Rockstar Connect Lancaster. And we do from time to time, definitely we try to do it monthly, but we put together these success seminars where we have rock stars come in and teach other rock stars about the awesomeness that they're able to do and would benefit everyone else. So we've got Derek Lau from aideM Media. Many of you probably already know him. So when we're looking at business and we're looking at 2022, we're looking at video, right? It's definitely a powerful way for you to be able to engage with people through either social media. I consider YouTube a social media as well, but definitely when it comes to video, Derek has it nailed down. It's been what, 12 years? Was it 07 or 10 when you started? 06 is when he started his video journey. I'll let you tell more about your story if you want to, but so with that, welcome everybody. We are streaming live on the Rockstar Connect Lancaster Facebook group as well as in YouTube. The channel is Rockstar Connect Lancaster. So if you do want to come back and revisit Derek's presentation in case, that way you don't have to frantically be scrubbing down all the notes and, in case you forget to dot an I or cross a T, we'll have that replay. It'll be up and available on YouTube and the Facebook group immediately following. So without that, you didn't come here to listen to me. You came here to listen to Derek. Let's put our hands together for Derek Lau of aideM Media.
Thanks, Chuck. And thanks to everybody for their patience as we made all the devices talk this morning. I'm Derek Lau. I'm with aideM Media Solutions. We help organizations tell a better story with video. aideM Media Solutions has been around since 2006. We do mostly commercial advertising and marketing and training videos, safety videos, things like that. One of the things that's been really popular lately is recruiting videos and company culture videos so that people want to work somewhere. Right now, there's a shortage of talent in the workforce. So that's one of the types of jobs we've been working on a lot lately. I'm just trying to get you some visuals here. So if you're not following us on Instagram, I'm going to do a little shameless plug. We're aideM Media on Instagram. Got a really good team of guys. That's Dylan. He's one of our camera operators. And that's Jason right there. He's one of our editors. And let's see if I can get one. It's Spence. That's Spence. So we're lean and mean. We're a small team. We've been in business a long time, and we have a couple of subcontractors that we work with a lot. Like I said, we're a video production company. I'll just show you a quick little video clip of some of our work here. You can come up with a soundtrack in your head and just visualize it. We've done videos for American Music Theater. We do all the commercials for Rudders. We do a lot of videos for the high companies, Orthopedic Associates in Lancaster. Like I said, it's mostly advertising, marketing, things of that nature. So a lot of people ask me, about cameras. I get a lot of emails from people who they have a kid in college or they're wanting to buy cameras and things like that, and they ask me what the best camera is to buy. A lot of people ask about equipment and stuff like that. I know, Chuck, I've helped you set up a little home studio with some lighting and things like that, but I'm not trying to be a smart ass or anything, but sometimes people ask me what's the best phone, and I jokingly just say the one that you have on you. So I've been running aideM Media for 15 years, and recently I started another business in October with a friend of mine named Vincent called Hot Box Barbecue. And I'm doing the sales and marketing for Hotbox Barbecue. So one of the things, when I'm shooting video for aideM Media, we got a lot of lights, we got a red digital cinema camera, we got, microphones, audio, big beefy, computer editing systems, tens and probably over 6 figures in just equipment alone. And it can be really expensive, but honestly, you don't need all that. You can create some pretty amazing content on your phone. So am I going to have sound on here?
I turned up stuff. Maybe it's
I muted it on the Vidyard stream, but that was just for the Vidyard stream. This should have sound. Either way, regardless. Some of these, I might want a couple of you to, since I don't have sound on here, I might have someone go on here and play some music on our Instagram channel just to prove a point on some of the videos and things like that we're shooting, because there is one hack that I was going to kind of show you guys, and it's how to use copyrighted music on your business Instagram channel. It's completely legal. It's nothing shady or anything like that. It's a kind of like a hidden feature that they have in there. So to enjoy that, I am going to need somebody to pull it up on their phone and turn the audio up so we can hear that. About what I'm going to teach you today. A lot of this stuff is beginner to maybe intermediate level. There's nothing really that this is an intermediate, beginner, type information presentation that I'm going to be showing today. So how many people here have shot video on their cell phones and posted it online? Okay, so everybody here is using video in their business in some way, shape, or form, whether that's like a walk and talk through a property, if you're a real estate agent, or podcasting. I know Chuck and Janet on podcasting. Jeremy, are you doing anything with video? You're at the new spot you're at. What kind of videos are you guys working on?
we have like little snippets that interview the execs there, talking about different services that we have on there.
Okay.
And eventually, just need plans for similar things that you did with me, where you had like,
Are you putting that on social media?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. So everybody else is using it in one way or another. So, if you look through our Instagram here, everything that you've seen on this, everything you see on this channel and all the videos that I'm going to show you, it was all shot, maybe not this phone because I just got this phone a month ago, but it was shot on a Pixel 4a. This is a Pixel 6. So I'm going to just give you a couple basic, everybody knows how to use the camera, shoot video on their phone, take pictures on their phone. Okay. So just a quick little 101 on some basics on when you're shooting with your phone. So if you would go into your camera, is this going to flip sideways when I do this? Okay. All right. So just some basics, you can shoot in regular camera mode, which I'm in right now. And if you have something that's like dark in the foreground, you can click on the dark spot and you can adjust just the darks on there. So one thing, when you're taking pictures, shooting video, that you want to be cognizant of is lighting. Like, is that Jose in the back there? Everybody look back at Jose. So if I were to take a picture of Jose right now, Jose has a window right behind him. So just some basic stuff. You don't want to shoot somebody, or you don't want to take pictures with a window right behind them, or the person's going to look really dark, or whatever it is. If you're shooting ice cream, or if it's a piece of equipment that you're shooting, whatever it is, it's going to look really dark. But one thing that you can do to kind of, cover that, if you have a white background here and you're shooting something that's black, you can click on the dark part of the screen and you can brighten it up. Or if you want to bring down your highlights in the back, you can change some of that stuff. Now on the iPhone, I think it's a little different. I think when you click on the iPhone, I think it brings up a little square, and then you have to click on the corner of the square. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is when you click. So when you click on the screen, whenever you take a picture, you normally want to kind of click on wherever your subject is. It's just 99% of the time it's going to help you take better photos, and you can do that in video mode as well. Obviously, everybody's familiar with portrait mode. The difference between portrait mode. So portrait mode is going to throw your background out of focus. So it's not real portrait mode. So if anybody knows about photography, you'll hear about photographers talking about fast glass and shooting wide open and things like that. So shooting wide open is, having a lens that can shoot with the aperture wide open. And that's a natural effect where your subject's going to be in focus and your background's going to be out of focus. You know, they call it shallow depth of field. Well, what happens when you put it in portrait mode? Every once in a while, like, so, I don't know, let's see how this one works here. So sometimes if you have something with a lot of lines in it, or you kind of confuse the camera, and you take it in portrait mode, every once in a while you'll see little jagged lines. You'll see like fake focus effects and things like that. The way portrait mode works in your cell phone is it pretty much finds out what your subject is. It photoshops a line around it in the computer in your phone, and then puts a blur on the background to give you that look of, you know, shooting with a really expensive, fast piece of glass on a real camera. So when you're shooting in portrait mode, just be careful of that. Make sure your subject is clearly selected. If you get those fake blur lines, you can either just roll with it and post it, or you can try and move the camera a little bit and do it again to get that shallow depth of field and get that out of there. As far as audio, if you're shooting video, my tips for audio is, you know, be cognizant of what's in the room. Are you near a noisy road? Are you near an air conditioning unit? Are you near a vent? Are you near a noisy refrigerator? Is there dogs barking in the background? When you're shooting audio, you don't have to have a soundproof booth. You know, it depends on, you know, what kind of content you're trying to produce. But a lot of the times when you're shooting stuff on your cell phone, you're trying to just kind of churn content. You want something to stay top of people's mind. You want to stay in front of them. But at the same time, you don't want it to be garbage either. So just try to be cognizant of sound before you start filming. You know, think, is the neighbor mowing the grass? Is there someone out weed whacking? You know, things like that. If so, you might want to move to a different room or try and find a different location, or wait, you know, until sound is different on there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Are there any specific settings in the phone that would, I know some of the newer phones start to have directional microphones, and
right?
They're playing with that technology to be able to silence background noise and have it pick up, you know, voice. Yeah. And it's gotten a hell of a lot better than the days of the very first BlackBerry smartphones 12 years ago. But
yeah, there are some settings depending on what kind of phone you have that you can change it. And if there's wind, I think some of them have a little wind cut filter. You know, that's another thing you want to be cognizant of with audio is, you know, make sure it's not too windy, because wind sounds really, really, really bad. It's not even as bad as background noise. I mean, it's taking over the microphone and putting fake noise in there. But yeah, that's a good point. If your phone is capable, you can go into your settings, and it's kind of like, you know, some phones have the widescreen, the telephoto, and lenses like that. So now they are putting microphones in there to make them a little more directional. And a directional microphone obviously is just a microphone. There's like cardioid, hypercardioid, shotgun, you know, all different kinds of microphones. Some of them are meant to pick up all the sound in the room all around it. And some microphones, they have a pattern where they'll pick up sound better wherever you're pointing the microphone. Composition is another thing. If you're shooting video, there's the story mode. So if you're shooting vertical, you want to shoot vertical for shooting stories. If you're shooting something that's going on YouTube, I don't know how this is going to flip here. But if you're shooting something that's going to be in a 16 by 9 widescreen format, you want to make sure you're holding your phone this way. So sometimes when you're shooting, particularly with video, you want to think about where this video is going to live. Is it going to go on Instagram? Is it going to go on YouTube? Is it going to be in story? So obviously, if you're shooting something that you know is going to go in a story, you want to shoot it vertical. But if you shoot something that you're definitely going to be putting on a YouTube channel or something like that, I would make sure that you're, you know, holding your phone this way and shooting it horizontal. Now, does anybody have any questions about basic lighting, basic audio, focus, brightness, things like that?
Just on that last point,
yeah,
YouTube has actually changed the format. If you're watching YouTube on a phone, if you do have it in story mode,
yeah,
it will actually full screen on that direction. If you record it in 9 by 16 instead of 16 by 9,
right.
But yeah, your standard format's going to be side to side.
But it's going to letterbox and put the black bars on it.
No, it'll right size.
Okay.
It'll do its full screen, and it'll pivot with the way the video is uploaded.
Got it.
On YouTube.
Okay.
So your full screen, if you're watching it like this, you record it like this, it'll be full screen on your phone as you hold it in your hand.
Okay.
Especially for shorts, which is story.
Right. That's YouTube story mode.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Did you have a question? Okay. I thought I saw you put your hand up. Okay. All right. So we're going over basic lighting, basic audio. The one other thing I did want to talk about with lighting is when I was talking about window, I was saying a bad example. You can use Windows 2 and again, they can work with you or they can work against you. So there's a couple shots in here that we take at Cartel Brewery a lot of the time, and like this photo right here. I mean, that was taken with a cell phone. I don't know if you want to look at, I don't know if you can see that okay, or if you want to look at it on your own phone. But one nice thing that you can do with a window, that's not the sun directly coming in from the window. That's kind of like how that lighting is back there by Jose, or even, this lighting right here. It's just soft, natural light. So the light level in here from these lights in here, it's pretty low light considered what's outside with the sun. But if you have products, like if you're shooting products, or even people look good, you'll see some like portrait photography from like some photographers and things like that are like in a diner, and like they might be sitting at a booth with that soft light coming in from a window. So you can use windows to your advantage as well. So when I say don't shoot into a window, what I mean is don't shoot directly out the window with the person facing your camera, unless you're going to put lights on them and things like that. And then at that point you're making it more complicated. Now there is a time when there will be like direct light coming through the window. So like if it's a sunset or something like that and the light is coming in on an angle, I know I have one of those in here somewhere. Maybe not.
You're making me hungry, Derek.
I know.
All the pictures are from the phone?
Yeah, every single thing on this Instagram channel we shot on this phone. That's that same picture of the wings, but from like a top-down view. That's another style that's popular. Is you'll see it with clothing companies. They'll take the clothes and fold them over the side. Is a top-down view. With drone photography and things like that, a lot of people like that top-down view. It's an interesting. Interesting. This here is a Google Pixel 6, but most of this stuff was shot on a Google Pixel 4. But any modern phone, if you know how, if you can work on the phone, the biggest number one tip I can tell you is to make sure that when you're in your camera mode, is whatever your subject is, click on it before you take the picture. Click on it and check these little like slider levels on here. Before you take a picture. I mean, 99% of the time, it's going to make sure when you click on that, it puts that person or item in focus. So when you click on it before you take the picture, it puts that person in focus, and it gives you the opportunity to change the lighting, to that person. All right, so shooting and editing video. Who wants to? Is anybody on our Hotbox Barbecue PA Instagram channel that can play a song with some sound up? I'm just going to show you an example of a video we shot and edited on a cell phone. So if you click on the Reels tab up here, the second one over.
Do you think maybe if you unmute the computer that it would?
I didn't mute. I know what you mean. Yeah, on here. Because I was worried about getting feedback. I was thinking when we muted stream, but then it's going to give me. For volunteering. Everybody has it.
It's go, 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 go time. Tick, tick, boom. Who bringing the noise? Go, baby, we bringing our toys. Separate men from the boys. Chopper be singing, she'll be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Woo! It's go.
It's nothing that's going to air on broadcast TV or anything like that we've done. It's nothing that's probably going to win us any awards, but it's fun. It's got music to it. You can put titles in here. So you'll see when this comes in that the brisket title comes in. I threw a little meme in there just to be funny. Now it got cropped. I didn't spend enough time cropping it, but you know, this title fades in. There's little zooms and effects that I'm putting on some of these photos. Some of these are just photos that I'm mixing into the video. And, you know, again, there's titles that come in. You know, we do a little flash effect in there, and, you know, we put our logo in and put a little flash effect on it. It's very simple. It's very easy to do. Can you mute me on here? I'm going to show you another one. So I'm going to do a plug for the barbecue. We're at Cartel Brewery every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I have some flyers to hand out. But this video here that I'm about to show you, I literally shot this while my business partner was making a sandwich, and I was sitting at the table drinking a beer while I made this video. And I did this in 15, 20 minutes.
Rocking the joint, rocking the jam, turn it up and play it again, cause that's the joint. Play it again.
Now, chat. or no? Just
No, I thought you were going to go.
yeah. So you can do a lot of fun stuff. So I know Chuck's in real estate. What type of businesses are everybody in that's in here? Networking, like computer networking or business networking? So yeah, you could find a fun song. A lot of it when you're doing the video is going to be about the song that you pick and things like that, and you can have some fun with it. This one here we did, that's a joint, that's a jam, because he did a homemade bacon jam. So we used the Black Eyed Peas joints and jam song to kind of promote people about it, and we got a lot of good feedback from that. So you can make sure you include fun songs. This one I really wanted to do. So I told Chuck earlier that if he put this microphone in front of me, I might sing some karaoke. So since there's no audio, I'm just gonna throw this in here. So this one here, we do brisket cheesesteaks. So this here, as this video plays, it's I'll stop the world and melt with you. Near, near, near. I see the difference and it's getting better. And then we put melt with you on the graphics and stuff like that. So you can pick, fun songs and get themes with it. But again, you have to unlock that. So I'll go, that's one of the main things I know a lot of people want to learn about. I'll show you that real quick and then we'll go into the video editing. So before, we used to have stock music. So if you have a business account on Instagram, it's going to give you this library of audio for your reels, for your stories and things like that, where it gives you this generic stock music. And nothing against the people that spent their time and energy making those songs, but people recognize popular music that they hear on the radio and things like that. So it took me a while to figure this out, and I was Googling it and I couldn't really find it on Google or anything like that. But I noticed a pattern. There's a couple other barbecue places that I follow that are like really big barbecue channels, and they were putting all this copyrighted music and stuff on there, and I couldn't figure out how they're doing it. But then I saw a pattern, and it's really simple. If you look under your business category, ours says entrepreneur. So if everybody wants to pull up your Instagram channel, and you go to edit your profile. So it's got the name of your business, your username, your pronouns, your website, and then your bio. And then if you go under category, there's all kinds of categories on there. There's artist, musician, band, blogger, clothing brand, community, digital creator, but there's lots of them. So under your edit your profile, who asked that question? Diana. So if you go under your edit your profile, did you find it? All you got to do is set your category to entrepreneur. And for some reason, entrepreneur is the only one in that whole list where it allows you to use copyrighted music. Now, if you have a personal Instagram, does everybody have a personal Instagram and a business Instagram? If you're on your personal Instagram and it's not a business page, it will allow you to use any music you want. But if you've realized before, when you go to your business page, you get the kind of drab, box royalty-free music. So, and the way that works is on your personal Instagram page, they're making money off of you. They're selling advertising on Instagram. They're mining your data. They're learning everything about you. They're selling you products that you are probably interested in or they hear you talking about. So they're making money off you. When they put the copyrighted songs in there, Instagram is paying those artists licensing. So on your personal page, it lets you use that, and they might get a fraction of a penny or a fraction of whatever every time that it's played, every time it's viewed. For the business page, for example, I did a TV commercial for a local business, and they wanted to use Monday by the Mamas and Papas. We had to talk to BMG, and that's the music licensing company, and talk to their lawyers just for that Mamas and Papas Monday to play locally around here on WGAL. They wanted like $9,500, which is more than what we charged, to produce the commercial. So on the business Instagram page, part of the reason for that is they don't want, big brands, big companies, using that copyrighted music and not having to, they want their money. For some reason, I don't know why, but under entrepreneur, if you set that as your business category, you can use copyrighted music, and Instagram's paying for the licensing. So it's like a really cool hack. So, all right, shooting and editing video. I know we got off to a late start, so I want to get into that here.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Absolutely.
Also, I heard that if you, so say you want to use a song and you drop a tone or two or like a key or two, you're able to use the music. Is that correct? Or I mean, obviously,
I don't know about. I mean, I'm not an attorney. I don't know about the legality about that. But
have you done
if
that before?
no, I have no, not for any commercial clients. Absolutely not. But as far as like tricking their algorithm, I mean, they have bots and crawlers that check over stuff. And I know people try and add some sounds in there to try and trick it, but I used to film like professional equestrian events, like horses jumping over fences and horse racing and stuff like that. And there was this one time, this horse broke a record by jumping over like an 11-foot. It was, I don't remember the height, but it was really tall. It was like 7 or 8 feet tall. It was taller than a person. And it was in an arena, and they had music playing in the background, like echoey music, like, not even like an audio track that we laid under it or anything. And they flagged it. They flagged the video just for and I mean, there was people screaming, there was the sound of the hooves of the horse, jumping and everything, and they flagged it. So I mean, their algorithms are pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't use it I wouldn't try those hacks for your business purposes. On YouTube in particular, if you use copyrighted music, you're definitely going to get ads put in front of your video. They're definitely 100% going to put ads in front of your video. That's kind of their way, depending on, like, there's like ASCAP, there's BMG, and there's a couple different like music. There's like 3 or 4 like major music licensing companies. They want their money, and that, if they think you have some money, or they, if Pepsi would post a video using Mamas and Papas Monday, they're going to take them to court, and they're going to get as much as they can from them. But since there's millions and millions and millions of people uploading copyrighted content to YouTube every day, instead of having their lawyers try and hound down every little person that might have, $25 in their bank account, they're just going to put ads in front of your video, and then they get that ad revenue. So they're the people whose music that you're using on YouTube. I'm not telling you to put copyrighted music on your YouTube videos, because it could come back to bite you worse. All I'm saying is they don't seem to do much about it. You'll normally get a copyright notice, and then ads will start playing in front of your videos, and the music licensing companies get your ad money. So I don't like putting. I wouldn't. One of the main reasons, just besides ethics and things like that I wouldn't put copyrighted music on any of my aideM Media videos is they're going to put an ad in front of it. And then if you know how to run YouTube ads, you can track by URLs. So one of my competitors could see that there's ads in front of my aideM Media YouTube videos, and then someone could go watch an aideM Media YouTube video, and it'll show an ad for one of my competitors in town. So you got to be very careful about that, especially on YouTube. All right, so let's shoot and edit a video. Everybody got VN open on their phone? Okay, so when you open VN, you get the screen here. Now there is a paid version. This is a free version, so you're going to get a little 5-second ad every time. Down here at the bottom, you're going to hit that plus button, and you're going to go to a new project. Now, it's going to ask you if you want to add videos or photos to the project. So, just for an example, I want you to go back out of video and go into your phone, and I want you to take a picture of your finger. And I want you to take a picture of number 1. I want you to do number 2. I want you to do 3. See, that's where tapping the screen can come into help there. And a 4, and then a 5. And then I want you to put it into video mode. And I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you should have a total of 6 clips. Should have 5 photos and a video. So then go back into VN. Actually, you're going to have to click on new project again for your stuff to load up. Okay, so then you're going to click on photos. Is everybody following? And at any time I'm losing anybody, please interrupt me and raise your hand. Are you in camp? Are you in? All right, so you click on new project, and then you should get this tab here that has video and photo.
Yeah, under that it's should got all and then a video and then a photo and then memories. That's what mine says.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we have 4 options underneath.
The icon has a sign.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, so go to your photos, and I want you to click the 1 first, then the 2, then the 3, then the 4, then the 5, and then hit the blue arrow down in the bottom right corner. So what you're going to get here, has anybody in here attempted to edit their own videos before, whether it's on a desktop computer? Okay, a couple. Okay, so this down here is your timeline. So what this represents is time. So here we got, man, getting old. Got to get some bifocals. So we got 0 seconds here, and we got 2 seconds here, and 4 seconds here. So what this represents, and then this white line right here that's whatever you're going to see on the screen. So you see when that white line goes from this clip to this clip, you're going to see the picture change. Now these are photos, so there's no motion on them. So each photo stays up on the screen for about 3 seconds. So we got 3 seconds of that, 3 seconds of that, 3 seconds of that, 3 seconds of that. And then since there's 5 photos, we are at the 15-second mark here. Now, you can click on these clips and you can make them shorter or longer by trimming it. So like if that's too long for you, you can, like if you don't want that to be on the screen for 3 seconds, if you think that's too long, because like if you go to hit the play button, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Well, I just want to show you how to edit some photos together real quick. So what you want to do is you click on this, and you know when the clip is highlighted that it's clicked on. And I'm not talking about this yellow pop-up window here. I'm just saying that the yellow boxes around it, you know it's highlighted. You click on the trim button right down here. And I'm just going to click on 1 second. So it's going to make that a 1 second clip. The other way that you can do that is if I go to original, the other thing you can do is you can click on this endpoint here and drag it back. So you can trim your clip that way as well. But I'm going to click on 1 second just for these examples here. So we got 1 second, and then you hit the check mark, and it'll save it. And then you'll realize that this clip is shorter than the other clips. So I'm going to go through really quickly and just do that to all these photos. I'm going to click on that one, hit trim, hit 1 second. Click on the next one, trim, 1 second. Next one, trim, 1 second. Next one, trim, 1 second. So now we're at the 5 second mark. Each one of these photos is a second long. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So then if you want to add titles over top of it, so say you want to add some text on screen, you got these different layers here. So this is this is your base roll. This is where you're going to put your photos and your videos are always going to go along the bottom here. If you want to add a title, you want to hit there's this box up here, this T box. So you want to click on that. And there are text. Don't click on text yet. I'm just going to show you the difference. So text is just going to give me some basic text here. I'm going to go back. So the templates are some of the ones I like. So I go to the subtitle templates because the templates, a lot of times they have some animation that comes in here. So you might recognize this one right here. This one's the one that I used on the brisket video. So you click on that box. And then down here is going to be your text box. So whatever you type in here is what's going to show up on screen. So I'm going to delete vlog down here. You just type right over it. Good? Okay, so I'm just going to type in 2. And I'm going to hit this checkbox right here. But you can pick any of these templates you like. But the reason I like these is, you know, it puts a little bit of animation on the text for you. I'm going to hit the checkbox. So then here's the title. Yeah, does anybody need any help? So when you look at this, now we have a title over here over time. So here's our 1 second mark, our 2 second mark, 3 second mark, 4 second mark, 5 second mark. So here's a title up here. So if I click on this title is 3 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my thumb right here in the corner of this, and I'm just going to kind of drag it back, and I can shorten it. See how see how when I click on that, it gets rid of the other box, and I can make this as long or short as I want. If I drag it out here, it'll leave that title up the whole time over top. Since it's just number 2, I'm going to make it a little shorter, and I'm going to put it right over the slide where my fingers are on 2. So right here is where my fingers are on 2. So I'm going to make sure I line that up. Now I'm going to use both my fingers here so I can zoom in a little bit to do a little fine tuning. I'm going to kind of zoom in on the timeline here a little bit. Hold on 1 second. I'll come right back there and help you. So now the 2 comes up when it's on 2. Who had a question? Who had a question on a bunch of boxes? Did you help? Okay. So then I'm going to add another title right here. I'm just going to do another subtitle template, and I'm just going to pick the same one, and I'm going to click on that box, and then I'm just going to put 1 here, and I'm going to hit enter. So now I got 1 and 2, and I'm going to click right here on the edge of this 1. I'm going to zoom in. I put both my fingers here and zooming in on, just like you would zoom in on a photo. I'm going to click on the little edge here and pull that back. And you can see, like, that's the photo for 1, that's the photo for 2, that's photo for 3, that's photo for 4, that's photo for 5. So as I'm dragging this back, I'm going to try and line it up right with the edge of this 1, so that the word 1 is on screen when my fingers are on 1, and the word 2 is on screen when the word 2 is on screen. And I'm just going to click on the edge of that. I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. I'm going to click right here, right on the edge of that. Oops. You got to click off of it sometimes. And then I'm going to pull that back. See how it slides back? The reason it was giving me trouble before is because I was trying to, my white line, my play line, was right on the end of that. So sometimes if I try and click on this little blue thing, while that, you want to get it away from your play line. So I bring it over here to get it away from the play line, and then click on it, and I can drag it all the way out over my clips to bring it back in. And then I'm just going to real quick. Does everybody have the 1 and the 2 down? You don't have to line it up. I'm just showing you how you could potentially put different titles over top of different clips. The other thing is where this play line is right here. If you set that to the point where you want your title to start, you put it right there on the next one, which I'm going to do as a 3. That's where it'll start the clip. Now, the one thing I'll tell you that is a little bit cumbersome about editing on your phone. Hey, Janet, how are you? About editing on your phone versus editing on a computer is you do want to zoom in and out a lot because it is kind of a smaller area you're working with down here. So you want to make sure you're zooming in and out so that you're clicking on the right parts. Now, if there's titles you want to duplicate, so I'd say I just want to copy and paste this, I can duplicate this. I'm just going to delete that one, but you can duplicate and copy titles. What's that? In the timeline? No, you were zoomed in all the way. So what happens is, so like say you have like right now this is 5 seconds. It's a 5 second video. But if you have like a 2 or 3 minute long video, you're gonna need to zoom in to get into the smaller stuff. So you were zoomed in. No, you were zoomed in all the way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is a good. Yeah.
And then also just an FYI, if you look at your timeline area down here, since this is the free version of the software, it always puts this like title credits in the end. So unless you're making a film or something, you can just delete this black clip that's at the end. So you click on that, you just hit the delete key. And then when you get to the end of your timeline, there's a plus button. So if you want to add more media, you can click on this plus button, and then I'm going to put the video in after this. So I'm going to click on the plus button, and I'm going to click on video photo, and I'm in my videos. So I know on iPhone it looks slightly different, but you got video and photo. So I'm going to click on the video that I did of my hand doing that, and that's going to put that in there. So then if I zoom out and I bring the white line all the way back to the beginning and hit the play button, and it's always good to kind of review your work as you're going through it. This isn't the finished video that I'm done making yet, but thank you, Chuck. Wait, what do I got going on here? Okay, so these didn't. I made a mistake. I thought these lines in here were actually the clip, but the clip doesn't end here, so I got to stretch these out.
Derek, did you add your video in there?
I did. It's on the very end. What's that, Chuck? Like the timeline area? I did realize Actually, me using the fingers example today was actually a really bad idea because when you zoom in, all the thumbnails look the same.
How did you add your video?
So at the very end,
For everything, including.
that's the title there. You click on that and delete that,
7:30, but I would put sleep.
and then you click the plus button, and you add photo video, and yep, right there. And then your video is in there. So if you zoom out, and you drag that back and hit play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it goes through your video. So now, does everybody have their video loaded in the end here? I want to show you some things that you can do with the video. So did anybody ever see those things where, maybe almost like the Matrix, or something's in like really fast motion and it's like slow? Now, I'm not promising this is going to like look like the Matrix, but there's a button down here called speed that's really neat that you can do some things with. So right now, what we got going on is a 7.9 second clip. So it took me almost 8 seconds to count through that. And what these do is this represents the beginning of the clip. This represents the end of the clip. But what you can do with these is when you drag this up, it's going to speed up that particular part of the video. So right here, so it sped up the beginning part of the video. But if you drag, so what it'll do is if I drag this down and then take this one up, what it's going to do is it's actually going to start off really slow. So 1 and then fast. So you can drag these down to make them slow and drag these up to speed them up. So if I would kind of do that, it's going to go fast and slow in the beginning.
Is there a way to just like double your time without
Yes.
doing all
Yes.
that?
Yes. So see, this is on curve right here. If you just click on regular, you can just,
Got it.
there's 2x speed. It'll play twice as fast. There's 1/3 slow-mo. There's 3/4 slow-mo.
And then that's consistent.
Yep.
The other way, the curve way, you can really adjust.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you.
And then you just click the check mark to do that. So that's your speed there. Anybody got any questions? We good? The other thing you can do down here is there's a lot of other filters and effects. I'm not going to say similar or exact. They're kind of like some of the stuff you might find on Instagram or like a Snapchat filter or something like that. So if you click on filters here, you can change the colors of your video. I can make it warm. I can make it, washed out. And I can make it black and white. So you can click the check mark, and then in my timeline, when my video plays, it has the slow motion on it, and it's in black and white. So you can add effects to your video clips that way. There are templates in here as well. I don't know if anybody's familiar with like purchasing templates or anything like that. Has anybody ever done anything like that? Like for graphics templates, stock photos, things like that. So they have some of the graphics done for you, and you would just replace the photo in the background or replace the video in the background. I'm not going to cover that today, but if that's something you want to play around with in the future, you can do that. I would work on the basics in here in the video editor first. So so these are just still photos. So one thing that you can do, sometimes it's fun, especially if you're just working with still photos, is you can add some motion or some effects onto them. So since this is a still photo we have here in the beginning, now this little bar across the bottom you can slide because there is other things down here. Does everybody see that? So I'm going to click on the little wand for FX. And right now I have no filter on, but there's a black burst here where it's going to blink. It's going to blink black. And then this little slider bar down here, it's going to be, then you see how that one's like really, really fast and like, you know, be too intense for you. What's that? Yeah, exactly. This little slider bar down here, you can slow that down. So right now it's at 0.01 seconds. So that is flashing, you know, at 1/10 of a second. So if I go to, you know, 1/3 of a second or 0.3, it's a little bit more of a slow pulse.
Can you talk about use of transitions, how many views, especially in a professional setting? I kind of know the answer here, but like,
Yeah.
it might be good to hear from your perspective.
Yeah.
Especially if you're using it on a brand, like your own business or something like that.
Right.
Video to video, but I'm also talking within the video. So all these transitions, all these effects, do you think 30 is a good amount to have on a video, or like 2, or like, I guess that's what I'm trying to
Yeah,
get
let me
at.
show you. Yeah, that's a great question, Jeremy. So everybody in here has to consider what your brand can be, what your brand is, what your brand's feel is, how you want people to see you. You know, aideM Media Solutions, we pick a blue, cool color because it's trust and it's cool, it's calm, and you know, people like to work with us, and our marketing material reflects a lot of that. It's not in your face, something like that. The barbecue food truck is called Hotbox Barbecue, and our slogan is "Put the South in your mouth." So it's a little bit more edgy style marketing. So with Hotbox, I can do something that's going to flash a lot. I can pick a little bit more high energy, you know, music and things like that that are going to be kind of a little more in your face. You got to think about that as your brand. You know, what kind of titles do you want? What kind of fonts do you want? Are you more of an elegant brand? Are you bold? Are you going to pick reds and yellows and things like that? Like that's all things that you can consider while you're working, you know, on your business and on your brand. As far as the question about transitions, I'm going to go into some different transitions here. So this is where this clip meets with this one. There's a little plus button in the middle. So right now, so my effect is on there. So you can see that the effect's on there. And I'm going to play it. And then it goes into the next photo. So just to show you an example of a use of a transition. A transition is something that happens when you go from this clip to this clip right here. When you have no transition in the editing world, it's called a straight cut. It's a straight cut. It's just one clip backed up to the other one. And to Jeremy's point, straight cuts are okay. You don't have to put a transition in between every single photo and every single clip. There's a Simpsons episode. I should have pulled it up. Homer Simpson learns editing. Is everybody familiar with what a star wipe is? It's like a picture of a star, and it opens up, and the old clip goes away with the edge of the star, and the new clip comes in. And Homer Simpson learns how to edit video, and he puts a star wipe in between every single clip in his video. It's star wipe, star wipe, star wipe, star wipe. So yes, be mindful of that. I'm showing you the functions of this and how to do it. Use your own judgment as far as your brand guide, you know, and how you want that to work.
Sometimes less is more.
Sometimes less is more. Exactly. So to get into transitions, I actually hope they have a star wipe in here, just for anyone who doesn't know what star wipe is. I'm going to click on that plus button. So right now it goes from 3 to 4 like that. So if I click on that plus button, I can do a dip to black. We're just going to fade to black and then go into the next one. So it's going to go 3, 4. I got to move that title. That's bothering me. So I'm going to click on that title, zoom in a little bit. I'm going to slide that over. All right, back to the transition. So right now, so there's not a plus button there anymore. See how there's a plus button here? That's saying this is a straight cut. Do you want to add a transition? Now it's got this little icon here. And if I play it, when it goes over that, that's where the transition is. Does everybody see that? Does everybody understand how the timeline works? Whatever's on the white bar is what's going to be on the screen at that point in time. So there's a dip to black. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to switch it. So there's a vertical like shades. There's a zoom where it's going to kind of zoom into the screen. There's zoom in. There's rotate. You'll see a lot of this on some action stuff, you know, dirt bike videos, skateboard videos, stuff like that. You'll see a lot of these spin transitions. So an example of a spin might be if you're doing a home remodel and you show a before picture, you could do a spin and then you have your after picture, you know, to show your new interior design project or something like that. That'd be a half decent example of how to use that. There's dissolve. So again, these are all things you can kind of explore and play around with and go through. There's slides where they just kind of slide in. Up here's some wipes. There's a push. I like pushes. Pushes, I don't think pushes are too cheesy. And again, I don't like the speed of that. I would normally make that a little bit faster. So I moved this down here. It's a faster wipe. Again, that's going to depend on the feel of your music track. If you put music in the background and it's really low beat, down tempo, you don't want to use a really fast transition. You want to make sure that the style of your edits kind of matches the audio that you're putting on there. You can put music in on this app. You can put music in this app, but since I showed you how to legally use copyrighted music, I would put it up as a reel. That's where you'll be able to get that music in there is in the reels. Well, you can put your own music on. Right, or if you're talking, yeah, if you're talking on camera, you could have that audio and mix it in. Okay, so that's a transition right there. We got about 15 minutes. Oh, the other thing I want to talk to you about, and we should have went over this in the beginning, is right here, there's a box that says original. If you click on that, that's going to give you different templates for your editing window, depending on where you're going with your video. Right now, it's set my project up to the size of the first thing that I imported into the project, which was a photo of my finger. But if you know where you're going with your video, if you know it's going to go on Instagram, you can click on here and it'll give you what's called a 1-to-1 ratio or a square ratio for Instagram. YouTube is 16:9. Instagram stories is tall, 4:5. TikTok is 9:16. Then you got just some random ones, 2-3, 3-4. Old school tube TV, 4:3, and 3:2. 21:9 is like your cinematic, like super widescreen, and round. I don't know what video applications are for round, unless it's going on like a 3D screen or something. So I'll just click on Instagram 1-to-1. Actually, no, I'll do Instagram 4:5. Okay, so we went over importing footage into your project. You can import photos, you can import videos, you can import audio if you'd like. So if you do want to add music in this software, you can click on the little music icon up here. And there's also sound effects. I did want to show you about sound effects. So sound effects sometimes can go really good with a transition. So when I did that wipe in there, so if I put a sound effect in here, I'm gonna click on fast swish, and then it gives you some lists of swish sound effects in here. So if you want to put sound effects to match some of your transitions, you can. So I'm gonna go with the fast swoosh. I'm gonna go with the fast. I'm gonna go with fly because it's 1 second. So I'm gonna click choose for fly. Click up here on the audio button, on the music button. And then, so when I get to my transition, which is right here, I'm going to click on my audio bar and I'm going to drag it. Now, the other thing is you can see these waveforms, like see these lines. That's like the sound. That's the waveform. That's the audio. So so right here, there's no sound. Right here, there's no sound. So just to help myself out, I'm going to kind of zoom in here. I'm going to click on the end of that, drag that back, just so I know where the audio starts. So it'll help sync it up better. So right now, since I trimmed that up that way, right where this starts is where the sound effect starts. But really the peak of the sound effect is right here in the middle. So I'm going to go find where my transition is, which is right here, my circle transition. Actually, I'm going to switch that. I'm going to go with a rotate. I'm going to hit my check to save it. And then I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to grab my audio effect. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to drag it over here. I'm going to line it up. That's my transition where the swirl is happening. I'm going to line that up. Now, I lost my audio. I don't have any sound. But if you do that, you'll hear that as that happens. You know, so I'll do a, you know, so you get the point. Now, I know I said you can play around with the effects. There are other effects down here. I would just recommend that you kind of keep it simple, keep your video making simple in the beginning, play around with some of these effects, and have some fun with it and figure out what works best with your brand and what works best with your business. The other thing I'm going to do, and I want everybody to do, is find somewhere on the internet that has your logo or a logo and just screenshot it really quickly. So I don't know if you want to go on your website or go on your Instagram or go social media somewhere and find that logo. I already have one saved, so let me know when everybody has a copy of their logo. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you for coming out. Yeah. Yeah. You too.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
All right. Has everybody got their logo?
So you're doing that from inside the app?
Yeah. So if I just, no, I'm not doing it from inside the app. So just real quick, I'll go to our Instagram. Oops. So I'm just going to screenshot that, and then I'm going to edit my screenshot. I'm just going to drag that up.
So you can't pull it then from your app, from the app itself.
For the sake of, I mean, really, you could save it as a file in your phone somewhere. Just for the sake of speed, I was just saying if you want to just take a quick screenshot of your logo. And then go back to your VN video editor once you get your screenshot, and then hit this plus button here. And you want to go to photo video and click on photo. And then right there's the logo screenshot that I made. So I'm just going to click on that.
Could you just back up and on a second? Do that again?
Sure.
You can only add it again.
You can add your logo wherever you want.
But the plus button is at the end.
The plus button should be at the end of your timeline. And you might have to, so this is your timeline. You just want to drag it all the way to the end. And you'll see the plus button.
Yeah, but it's gonna put that photo at the end of your video, right?
Correct. Correct.
No. No.
All right, has everybody got their logo on the end of their video? All right.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna put a little effect on that. You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, so does everybody have that on there? Now, if you want, sometimes depending if your logo is on black or white, I'm actually gonna delete this and put a different one in here real quick. Oh, and I think Diana had a question is about just putting your photo at the end. So the other thing you can do is if you want to kind of just move clips around, if you hold this in, it's going to take the timeline away, and you can actually place stuff anywhere you want in there. It's kind of floaty, so as soon as you take your finger away, it's going to put it wherever you want. So I can put the logo right there if I wanted, or if I want to put the logo back at the end, I just hold in on that clip and just put it right back on the end. Okay, so before I export my video out, I'm gonna drag my timeline all the way back to the beginning, and I'm just gonna hit play, and this is what we have. It's a mess, but I'm just giving you an example of we got some slow motion. We have animated titles that come in. We have an animated title comes in the beginning. We got a transition. We have black and white and slow motion for drama. Could you imagine some dramatic music to this? I mean, it's like, what number's coming up next? And then the logo at the end. Yeah. So once you get your video, you can keep playing it and you can go back in and tweak stuff. I think this is a little kind of trashy in the beginning with the blinking. So I'm going to click on this clip. And I want to get that effect off of there. I'm going to go to my effects. And I'm going to hit X to get rid of that. That's still doing it. Oh, I'm going to click on none, and it'll take the effect off, and then hit check mark. So I got rid of that effect. I felt that was a little much. It was a little too blinking in the beginning with the titles coming over. It was just too much of a mix. So that's, especially since I put that in slow-mo, that drags on. And I would just encourage you to watch your videos before you export them out. Watch them in here, make sure you're happy with them. Maybe even get a second set of eyes, like show it to somebody before you export it out, or export it and send it to somebody before you make it public. So, with this being in slow motion, it gets kind of long at the end. So when I get to the 5 right there, I'm going to click on that clip right where the clip stops at 5. I'm going to hit trim. And I'm going to pull this back right to where the 5 comes in. And I'm going to hit the checkbox. So now it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's on there for about a second instead of like 5 seconds, and that goes into the logo. So once you get your video where you want it, up top here, you're going to hit the export button. It's going to ask your resolution. Most of the stuff you're going to be working in is either 1080 or 4K. Frames per second, you just leave that on 30 frames per second. Bit rate is your quality. The higher you drag this slider bar up here, the bigger your file size is going to be, but the less pixelation you'll have on movement. You drag it down this way, you're going to get a smaller file size, but your picture is going to be a little more pixelated, grainy, things like that. Do you ever see those like text message videos from the politicians that come in like your text inbox and they're like super small and grainy? That's because they can only text the video at a certain size, so they're probably dragging that all the way down. Right in the middle should be fine. So you hit the checkbox down here. So right now it's exporting the video. So it's using the little computer inside your phone to render out all the photos. So I'm gonna name the video. Now you can always rename your files when you upload it to YouTube or wherever. You can put tags and stuff on here. I wouldn't worry too much about that right now. You can put your tags in on YouTube and all that. And we're gonna save and publish. Oh, I'm sorry. When it rendered the video out, it put it onto your computer already. The save and publish is for the pro version. So when it did that export, if you look into your video files, it should be in your reel. So here's our video, exported out as a file on our phone. Correct. You could go back into your project and edit it after you've exported it. So if you want, you can go back into your VN, and then you can change stuff back in here, and you have to re-export it out. You out of here, Diana? All right, take care. Yeah, and if you go to leave VN, like if you hit this back button up here, it's going to ask you if you want to save. So you can save the project if you think you might be tweaking it down the road. Okay, then from that point, and I know it's getting noon. I know I said I'd be done at noon. So again, thank you for being patient with me this morning. I don't know why the stuff wasn't talking to each other, but it just worked the one time. So, but anyway, so yeah, so you can go to add up here. So when you're on Instagram, you can either do a post, a reel, a story highlight live. We're not going to talk about these, but a reel is where you're going to add that custom music in there, or a story. Story and reel is going to let you add custom music in here. If you do it just as a post, it's not going to let you add the music in. So if you're going to do it as a post, you got to put your own music in ahead of time. Or if it's you talking on camera, that audio will be fine. But reel and story is where it's going to let you add the music in here. So you're going to click on the plus button down here, and I'm going to add that in. And then I click on audio. Has everybody changed their account over to Entrepreneur? Okay, so now I can pick, I can put Biggie Smalls on here. I can do, Jimi Hendrix. I got all these options since it's switched to Entrepreneur. My audio is not working, so you're not going to be able to hear it anyway. But that's kind of it. The only other one thing I kind of want to show is there's kind of a cool little, I call it another little hack. So if you look at this post, right here, this is a photo. This is the same photo that I did of kind of like the chicken wings with the beer in the background. There's a big window right here, give it a nice soft light. But so what I did was I took that photo, and see, I got this little Super Bowl guy down here with the thumbs up, and I got some titles in here. For me, it's all about speed. I'm running like 3 businesses. So when I'm doing this for my barbecue business partner, I'm making sure I have a post every day, and I'm trying to do something fresh, but I can't put more than 5-10 minutes into it tops. So what I did for this one, and I can kind of show you, is let's just pretend this is the Super Bowl one. So if I go to and I want to post a story up here, what I'll do is this, and let's just pretend it's the Super Bowl again. So I got this is a still photo I'm adding to my story. You can go in here to these little icons, and I can type in football, or that puts soccer in there because this is an international program. So I'll put in touchdown, and it's going to give me cool little animations. So, you know, I can put him on here, something like that. And then if I would, let's just do another one for touchdown. We'll get a cheerleader. So this is down and dirty real quick, but like, you know, I want to screenshot it when he's up there. I'll screenshot that real quick. I'll edit that, save it, you know, and I'll post this to my story. I'll still post this to my story, and I'll probably put a cool song up here. I'll go up here to music, and I'll just type in touchdown, see what kind of music they give me. I'll go touchdown by MGM Biz. So I got my music on there. So when people are looking at it on my story, it's got the music and everything like that. But with that screenshot that I took, I can take something that I did as a story, and then I can also post it on my page. But you can grab some of those little icons. It's a real quick hack to, you know, if you want a little clip art or something to throw in your photo. Now, again, I did this in like 2 seconds, but you saw the other one that I did. They looked decent. So again, so to get your video up on there, whoops, I went to story. You want to go to a reel, and then you click down here to access a file. And my video file that we exported is right here. So I'm going to click on that. And then there's my video playing, and I'm going to click on the little audio icon, the music icon, and I'll just throw James Brown on there. And now it's going to play with the James Brown music. And then I would add it. And then you have a video that you shot and edited with titles, transitions, effects, and you put music to it, and you post it on your social media. So did everybody learn how to shoot and edit video today? All right, cool. So everybody, you should all give yourself a pat on the back. Be proud of yourself. Thank you for having me out, Chuck. I wanted to plug two things. For aideM Media, I have a package called a video content package. So if you ever do get stumped with content, we have a package where we do 12 videos, 25 videos, or 50 videos that we can create for you from the video company. Hotbox Barbecue, we're normally at Cartel Brewery every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Cartel Brewery is taking over the Snavely's Beer Garden at the Warehouse District. They got the contract for that this year. So we'll be there almost every Saturday. The weekend of the 28th is the grand opening, and we are doing a pig roast. So if you want to come out, it's going to be good beer. And,
Pig roast on the 28th. All right. For those of you who were watching online, hopefully you were able to get a good bit of content out of that. I mean, you know, to be able to edit video directly on your phone, once you get proficient at it, I mean, you'll be able to bang out some of these social clips very, very quickly. So let's put our hands together once again for Derek Lau with aideM Media. All right, so we just posted our next event for Rockstar Connect. Next monthly business networking event at Stoner Grill is June 9th. So we look forward to seeing everyone there. Last month we were outside. We're going to be back inside. So we know that temperatures are going to go up. So we don't need to, you know, sweat too much while we're outside, but it gives us a little better room to be able to move about. So for those of you who are looking to build your business through networking, definitely come on out. We'd love to have you. Both Janet and I, thank you for joining us, my dear. It's great to see you. And thanks so much. You have the opportunity to mix and mingle, but we are at the time. So thanks, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the day.